The ECOWAS Authority Heads of State and Government has appointed the President of Senegal as facilitator in negotiations with the countries of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso in its efforts to return the three countries back to the regional bloc. This was during the recently concluded ordinary session of the authority, where member states were tasked to raise about $2.6 billion needed for the regional standby force. Now, to discuss this and developments from the just concluded ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, we're joined by an African Affairs analyst, Kopep Dabugat. He is currently General Secretary of the West African Civil Society Forum, WACSOF, Abuja, Nigeria. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, now tell us, what strategic significance do the appointments of President Bassirou Faye of Senegal and President Faure Gnassingbé of Togo hold for ECOWAS in the effort to reintegrate Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger Republic?
I think there is, it's a decision that was made out of, necessity, and also a decision that underscores realities on ground. I think if you look at the nature of the three countries that are exiting ECOWAS, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, you will see that they've had an extended period of history together. They've all been under the Songhai and the Mali Empire at some point. And to some extent, you find Togo and Senegal, also northern Togo and Senegal, also part of that broader mix of countries that were part of these old empires. So it is not surprise, perhaps because of the affinities that these peoples of these countries share. However, I would like to note categorically that President Bassirou Faye of Senegal, right from the time he was even campaigning for the presidency, before the elections took place earlier this year, he had made that commitment, expressly made the commitment that one of his cardinal policies, if he was to be elected, was to strengthen ECOWAS. And particularly, he was going to make it a point of duty to engage with the presidents of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso to seek their return to the ECOWAS.
All right, but then what main challenges and obstacles do you think that President Faye Gnassingbé might face in persuading these countries to return to the regional bloc, given the current political climate in the three countries?
I think the challenges are also fairly cut out for them. Basically, just the same, while the heads of state of the ECOWAS were having their summit here in Abuja, a similar summit of the Alliance of Sahelian States was held in Niger. And in that meeting, they took two very critical decisions. One is that they have reasserted their intention to irrevocably exit the ECOWAS. And secondly, they've adopted a treaty for the formulation of a confederacy between the three countries. Now, things have advanced. They have actually taken concrete measures. They have put in place, they have taken certain decisions, actionable decisions that would be implemented from now henceforth. So we are going to tell ourselves, welcome to the reality. These three countries have actually exited ECOWAS. But then the challenge that this presents is that, I mean, there is a very clear, rigid position. They didn't even, in their communique, in their meetings, they didn't even mince their words. They didn't even carry out any diplomatic show, you know. They simply went straight and said they are exiting ECOWAS. They did not talk about ECOWAS. They did not mention any possibility of going back to ECOWAS. So it's a very, very difficult situation in that you are negotiating with a party that is clearly not interested in even considering.
Okay. Talking about them not being interested in considering.
So I guess we have to wait and see how the negotiations.
Yes. In waiting and seeing how the negotiations will actually pan out, are there measures and assurances that ECOWAS could offer to Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger in order to facilitate their return to the regional bloc?
Well, I think one of the key measures that was being offered, was the easing of the sanctions, particularly the sanctions on Niger, the financial and economic sanctions. Now, without, them even taking this as anything, you see that any other move that would be made, for example, the invitations that were sent out to these countries to attend technical meetings, the invitations that were sent out for mediation meetings, in the requests that were being made for teams and committees to visit these countries and try to negotiate, were all denied, So these countries are clearly resolved. There doesn't seem to be any, should I say, carrot, so to say, that can be offered to these countries at the moment, because they have clearly shown their resolve to exit ECOWAS. And it seems as if they are actually not going back because they are already putting in place institutions. They are raising finances. They are putting in place people and material to ensure that they actualize, their goal of exiting ECOWAS. So it is like we're between a wall and another hard place.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll wait to see how President Faye Agnasimbe, are able to communicate these measures and assurances to them. But thank you so much, Kopep, for joining us and speaking on this.
Thank you very much, and it's always a pleasure.
Pleasure is ours.